Hey there, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another random review. This time it is A Low Down Dirty Shame, a film I've been wanting to review for a while. I think this is a bit of an underrated film. This is why I don't take Rotten Tomatoes seriously at all, because this is one of those films that has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. Zero. It's funny it's zero, but yet even the DVD has critical reviews that are positive. People Magazine, funny and entertaining, explosive action. I agree with that. I agree with People Magazine. 60-second preview. Keenan Ivory Wayans is terrific. I agree with that. Look to the back there. No special features, not even a trailer on this. I don't even know if this film's on Blu-ray. When this film came out, I think it did okay. I think it made around 20 to 30 million, and I don't think it had that big of a budget. Could be wrong on that. But it's a film that came out in 1994, written, directed, and starring Keenan Ivory Wayans. Now, Keenan Ivory Wayans at this time had the show In Living Color, created it, started it with some of his friends and his family, and as that was sort of winding down, he wanted to get more into movies. Now, he had, before this, directed the film I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, which is an entertaining flick from 1988, which is a takeoff of blaxploitation movies. But that was 88, so he had not directed anything for quite a few years. And this was so trashed and forgotten by the public, he didn't direct for another 6 years until Scary Movie in 2000. Then he did Scary Movie 2, White Chicks, Little Man, and I don't mind Scary Movie 1 and 2, but this is the Keenan Ivory Wayans I miss. This is the one I prefer. Because not only directing wise with this, and I'm going to get you Sucker, but acting wise, he was getting into action films. He was in The Glimmer Man with Steven Seagal, which I reviewed when I did my Steven Seagal marathon. For those interested, there's a playlist on my channel with those reviews. And I love The Glimmer Man. I like Seagal in it. I like Keenan Ivory Wayans in it. I like the serial killer plot in it. I like the action. I like the humor. The Glimmer Man is one of my favorite Seagal films. And I thought he did a really good job in it. He did this film in 1994. This is very underrated. He also did a film a few years after this called Most Wanted, which is more of a serious movie where he is framed for the shooting of a politician and he's hunted down. John Voight is the villain. I'm a Marine. We don't plan, we improvise. That's a good one too. Maybe one day down the road I want to review that film. And that's the thing, like he as an action star, he was doing pretty good in my opinion. Because that's three films, Doorman, this one, and Most Wanted, that I enjoyed. And I wish he got to do more, but those films either were box office disappointments, or they didn't do well, or they were trashed critically, so he didn't get a lot more roles. Like with this one, he had to write, direct, and star in it, and it wasn't a box office phenomenon or anything, $100 million hit, so they didn't, you know, give a shit, and no one really talks about this film anymore. I mean, the flick, it's about a guy named Shane. He used to be a cop, a deal went wrong, and now he's a private investigator. At the beginning of the film, he's doing this job. His assistant, his secretary, is Jada Pinkett. This is before she was Jada Pinkett Smith. And she's very sassy and tough and a badass, and she wants to be in on the action with Keenan, but he's like, nah, I did do this on my own. But again, she's not a damsel in distress. She's a tough lady, and I would say it's easily one of her best roles. She's very entertaining in this role, willing to fight, willing to shoot, willing to kick ass, and has a great attitude to her. Like Jada Pinkett is a lot of fun in this. And I thought Keenan Ivory Wayans handled himself well in the action. Well, he's not Wesley Snipes, but I thought he handled himself fairly well and has some good funny moments too. Like at the beginning when he's doing this deal to get these diamonds in this hotel room, there's this diamond that's being exchanged. And one of the people who deals with is Sven Thorson. This is a guy who you see in a lot of Schwarzenegger films like The Running Man. He was the security guard, where he's like, I guess I gotta store some steroids. And he leaves Richard Dawson to Arnold. And uh, I think he got killed by Arnold in Predator when Arnold said knock knock. I think he had a fight with him in Red Heat in the shower at the beginning. Like Sven Thorson has been in a lot of stuff. He was in Conan the Barbarian with Arnold. And Keenan even makes a joke where he makes sort of an Arnold accent and goes, say hi to Arnold for me. And beats up Sven Thorson. But like he gets the guns out, it's like, hey, I just got found at the post office. I could flip out, kill everyone in this room. And he has some decent bits of slow-mo. He's shooting guys while sliding down the stairs. He's jumping out windows, going through limos. All done practically, real stunt work. Not CGI. It's not a video game like they do it nowadays. The rest of the cast, Charles S. Dutton's in this film as a guy who used to be friends with Keenan Ivory and gives him a job to find this woman. Andrew Divoff, the Wishmaster himself, he's the villain in this. At this time, he's playing a lot of villains. He was a villain in this film called Toy Soldiers, which is a film I need to get in my collection someday. I remember enjoying that one with Sean Astin and Louis Gossett Jr. and a few other films he played a bad guy in. And this is one of them. I thought he did fine in his role. When the action happens, like he gets in a fight with his in this bar, again, some nice usage of slow-mo, smashing chairs into people, punching people in the balls. He does this headbutt, and you see the blood fly out in slow-mo. Buenas noches, shithead. I thought his relationship between Jada Pinkett, it was fun, it was entertaining, it was they're arguing about who's the greatest heavyweight boxer. And Jada Pinkett says Tyson, and Keenan thinks it's Ali. Tyson? You think Tyson could beat Muhammad Ali? Yeah. Mike Tyson can't even spell Muhammad Ali. I would say my favorite moment of humor is that he decided to stay over, and Jada Pinkett says, "Okay, you can take my girlfriend, like her friend's room," and he does it. And he wakes up and he finds out that who he thinks is another woman is a guy who is gay, and yeah, it's very un-PC. But I gotta admit, I laughed when he got out and he pulled the gun. It's like, brother, you better show me some tits or die. He did a lot better than I did, but I forgot that line. I cracked up. It's like, brother, you better show me some tits or die. And it's just, you would never do that nowadays because everything has to be safe and oh, dude, shielded in this butt bubble that everyone's got to be in. Just hurt feelings. Because no one's got some balls. Fuck, I've met women with more balls than some of these fucking try-hard white knights out here. Shit. But women that bite you and shit. They have more bite literally than some of these snowflakes out there. But anyway, there's another moment which again is un-PC, but I did enjoy, where he's trying to get information from this guy, and the guy, he won't tell him anything. So there's another guy who you guess is the one guy's boyfriend, and so Keenan Ivory pretends, oh yeah, well no, he's mine. And the guy who's talking to is a white guy, and he goes, uh, you, Coffee may be good with cream, but it's better when it's black. And I'm doing a shitty job. That's what's hard about reviewing comedy. People go, why don't you show clips? I have the worst luck in that. Because there are many times in the past, I used clips, I got in trouble. There's so many times I get into trouble when I don't use anything. There have been times where my video has been copyrighted when there's no copyright. And I had to fight it. So that's why I don't use clips. Apparently, all these other people, they have better luck with it than me. Plus, give people a chance to see for themselves and not have it spoiled. Because me explaining it is not the same as you viewing it. But throughout the film, yeah, I would have used a little bit more action. Maybe like 5-10 minutes of the running time I would have cut out for a little bit of the pacing. But other than that, I don't really have much problems with the movie. Again, I thought Keenan Ivory Wayans did a good job. I thought the humor worked well. The cast, Jada Pinkett, Charles Dutton, Andrew Divoff, the villain, worked well. When the action scenes happened, they were well done. The humor, like you did a decent car chase where Keenan is shooting at the taxi that's following them, and then he drives over it, and then he bashes it back down a hill. Later on, for a bit of humor, he's trying to talk to a guy. The guy says no, and Keenan goes, okay, and leaves. And it confuses the guy, and then he walks out, and he realizes that Keenan left him in the middle of a white power rally. And this is a guy who's not white. So he's running, and Keenan's like, hey, I got some good news and bad news. Good news, you're almost to East LA. Bad news, it's 5 miles that way. And he's being chased by guys. When he tells him the info, Keenan's like, okay, I know how to deal with these guys. Hey, Luis says the white man can kiss his ass. He drives off to leave the guy that gets his ass whipped by the white power guys. Jada Pinkett has some good moments. She's supposed to be watching this lady that Keenan Ivory Wayans finds, and they have an argument, and she leaves, and then Jada Pinkett does this karate move. It's like, get the fuck out! Like, the way she said that, I thought was pretty damn funny. Her delivery of that line. And you have some fun lines here. To the point that part of you wonders if there's meant to be sort of a parody of action films. Like someone goes, promise me you don't smoke his ass. Like a motherfucking pack of cools. But it still brought a smile to my face. The finale, I like the fact it takes place in a shopping mall. It's a shopping mall that's closed for the night. But I like that. You have a moment where he goes into a sporting goods store with all these bad guys. He gets the propane tanks and the fuel, and he gets like a bungee cord, and he ties it. He shoots these tennis balls with fire, blows up the store as he jumps out. Really wonderful stunt of a guy jumping off, our character jumping off the second store as the building explodes, and he's bungee jumping down. And then there's a guy with a gun. He grabs it, and he goes, thank you. And when he goes back, he shoots the guy. And when people get shot, it's blood squibs. I mean, this is an R-rated film. It doesn't pussy out on that. And the violence it's not ultra-violent, but it's still there. And doesn't pussy out on the language either. It was silly, but by this point in the film, I could deal with it. Earlier in the film, Jada Pinkett says, oh, because she reads the National Enquirer, and Keenan Ivory says, well, that's bullshit. What are you reading? Oh, it says here that if you want dogs to stop chasing you, you should sing James Brown. And later on, some dogs are chasing him, and he does sing James Brown, and it works. So yeah, it's a bit silly. And like I said, moments like that make you go, is this trying to be a parody of an action film? But by that point, I was enjoying the characters. I was enjoying the film enough that I could deal with that. If there's one scene, it doesn't bother me, that scene. But if it was taken out, it wouldn't bother me either. If that makes sense. Maybe not. One flaw I'll give the film, though, is he has a fist fight with Andrew Divoff, and it's a bit anticlimactic. It's not really much of a fight. It's kind of been building up like Keenan Ivory Wayans has some moves on him, but the fight again is kind of he gets beat up a little bit, then he punches into Divoff a bunch of times, and then that's pretty much it. And again, there's a little bit of anticlimactic of a fist fight. In fact, the fight that Jada Pinkett has with this bitch, that was a little bit more of a better fight. But you know, they both beat the bad guy's ass, and they end up together. Good ending. I like the song. You know, shame. That's at the very opening and ending credits of the film. Overall, it's a very entertaining action film that, if you've never seen it, is well worth a look. And if you're wondering, this is what it looks like from Hollywood Pictures, which I know got the title The Sphinx That Stinks because so many of their films didn't do well or was trashed by critics. But there's many films they did that I enjoyed, including this one. Like I said, fun humor, entertaining action film, good action set pieces, likable cast with Keenan and Jada Pinkett, some nice supporting characters like with Charles Dutton, Andrew Divoff. Again, the pacing, after a couple minutes here and there, the climactic fist fight, a little bit more choreography would have been appreciated. Other than that, not much to complain about. Underrated film. Does not deserve a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. And to be completely forgotten. This is a fun movie. And I wish he would have done more movies like this. Whether it be a sequel, whether it be more films in the vein of this. I thought his direction was pretty solid. His writing, I thought he did a good job with that too. Sorry I'm blanking out, it's just, this is a film that speaks for itself. And if you haven't seen it, I think it's worth a lot. It's worth a shot, and I think you'll get some entertainment out of it. But thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.